Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight on this fine Sunday evening? Sunday night. That means it's time for FMTV. I am Peter Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. Lots of fun stuff to talk about, but as you guys know, I don't do this by myself. So everybody say hi to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed.
How's it going, guys? Glad to see you. Glad you guys are here. We're getting ready for a new season, Peter Brown. Man, I'm excited.
I am super excited. I was at the stadium yesterday. Got to see them, play Austin. Got to say hi to a few people. I saw B. King out there. I saw Esteban Dito out there. So, yeah, lots of fun. Can't wait. It's here. It's finally. It took a long time, but it's finally here, Ed.
Man, and the chat room is already on fire. There were people on board even before we started because it's this excitement of the new season. We're gonna get to talk about our soccer team. Some people are happy with the signings that we've had. Some people are disappointed. But we're gonna talk about it in a second, Peter Brown.
Yep. But before we get to everything, let's first say a big thank you to Caneswear. Caneswear is where you need to go to get all that new Inter Miami gear that you see people interested in. Go check out. You know what you need to do is follow Caneswear on all social media so that when they get the new gear in the store, you will know right away. We'll tell you here, but they may even be able to tell you on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So go to Caneswear, follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And you could go to the store in Davie. They're off University Drive just south of 595. And the hours are right there on the screen. So, there's some cool new stuff. The new jersey is people seem to like the new jersey. So that'll
there we go. You're gonna have to get it. And apparently our guest is a little late. I was telling Peter, I told him ahead of time because I want to make sure, because I'm Latin, he's Latin. We have this Latin time thing. Sure enough. Yeah.
Well, he's in the green room right now, so we'll get to him in just a second. So he can wait a minute. Because he made us wait, so we can wait.
Yeah, we're gonna make
so you can
wait.
say hello to all the people in the chat, Ed. So who do we got?
Peter Brown, we got Damien Guzman, who was the first one I saw up there. Yeah, yep. You got to see him. Here's somebody you got to see yesterday. Good old Brian King. B. King is with us. B. King. Yep. He's back. He's glad to be back at Drive Pink, and so am I. We got Lucas is with us.
He likes a new kit.
Is liking. Yeah, he likes it. Of course, one of our oldest friends, One World, One Goal. I'm not saying that you're old, One World, One Goal. I'm just saying that you're one of our oldest friends.
Ed. Careful.
Yeah, don't want to go there. And Anthony Ornelas is also with us. Yeah. And we got Gada is also with us. And we got the coolest photographer this side of the Mississippi, Chris Arjun. Good old Chris. Another guy that you saw yesterday, Peter, Esteban Dito.
Yeah, we got to hang out for quite a while there before the game.
And we've got it. It's a pretty busy chat room, but it's just with the same old fellas and ladies.
Yeah, we got our good community there. So, all right, thanks everybody for joining. Please, make sure to chat as we go, and we'll try to get to some of your questions as we go along. But let's not wait any longer. Let's, Ed, with the beginning of this new season, there's several new players. You and I aren't there at the practices. We're not talking to the coach every day. We're busy doing other stuff. But
yeah,
our guest Franco
for a living,
right? Our buddy Franco Panizo on the other hand.
Well, he does, but
yeah, he's there working and covering the team every day. So let's say hi to. So let's say hi to Franco from Miami Total Football. How you doing, Franco?
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
You got the wrong hat on tonight. What the heck?
Nah, this is my throwback hat from when I was living in New York and I missed home, so I wear it still proudly.
Well, it's Miami. It's Miami, so it still counts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
At least
the
he didn't.
it's the Miami Marlins logo that sucked. I mean, I have one of those hats too. I can't. I have one of those too, but that one I don't wear.
Big O used to give me stuff for it all the time when I used to wear it. It's not my favorite hat, but it was a gift from somebody to me, so it has
There you
some
go.
sentimental value.
There you
I've
go.
kept it for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, I have one with
At
with
least-
that logo. It's not my favorite of their logos. I like the new one that they did. That's pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah,
slick
the one's
looking.
better.
Yeah. So
At
I
least
got
he's
that
not
too.
wearing a New York Yankees hat, man. That would have been worse.
Absolutely not. Never.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, anyways, Franco, thanks so much for joining us. Like we said, the season is upon us. So there's a lot going on. A lot of not as many changes as last year, but still a handful of changes. How do you feel? The week is. I think I may have heard you ask a similar question to Neville, or somebody did, but I'm not sure if it was you or not. But the season is upon us. We have just a few more days till the season. How do we feel? How do you feel going into the season with the team that we have?
I think the team is in a better place now than it was a year ago, obviously, just because of there's been a structure in place now. There's a foundation that's been built, whereas last year things were still coming together all over the place. This one, at least you have a core group that's been here for a season. They know the way Phil Neville works and his coaching staff. So you've got that. Now, there's been new pieces brought in that I think are interesting, that I think will really help the group overall. I do think there's that top end quality that's missing in the team. I think they don't have that yet. And I think the hopes are, and I know we'll probably get into this at some point here for previewing the season, but I think that the hope is that Messi is the guy that at some point this year brings that top end quality and a lot of it if he does arrive. But yes, let's say it's not Messi. At some point this season, they need to bring in a DP that brings in that top end quality, that difference maker. Is there a difference maker right now on the field for Inter Miami? Like, is there one player you'd say is a difference maker on a consistent basis? Campana can score goals.
We're hoping
Martinez,
Campana.
Yeah. But is he a difference maker? Like, is he a guy that's going to win a game on his own if he needs to, like Gonzalo Higuain did last year? So that's where I think this team is missing something. I think that's what's the final piece of the puzzle that's missing in terms of the roster build.
Well, Higuain had Pozuelo, and that's the reason we seem to think that's why he got good, because he finally had somebody to supply that ball. But now that we don't have that, who's going to supply the balls to Joseph and Campana? I mean, that's, they're talking about Stefanelli. What'd you think about him yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, and yesterday was just more of the same, is that, he's got a lot of soccer, some football ideas to him. He's got a good read of the game. He's good at combining in short spaces. I don't know if he's necessarily a natural number 10 that's going to pull the strings and find those through balls in behind the defense. But can he combine? Can he help break open the defense with interchange and those type of passes? Yeah, you saw that in different moments on Saturday. And I think as he gets more comfortable, as he gets more used to the teammates and their styles of play, then I think he'll get even better. But I don't think he's a de facto number 10. I don't think he's a natural number 10. I think he was just used there yesterday. Is he the long-term solution there for the entire season? I don't know. When he first arrived and he had his introductory press conference, I asked him, because he explained that he's played all different types of positions in his career. He played winger, 10, 9. He's played central midfield. He's played all different types of position. I even joked about goalkeeper, and he was like, "Oh, well, I'm a little too short for that." But he's like, "But I'll play there if I need to." But when I asked him, I was like, "You've explained now the positions you've played, but how do you play for Inter Miami fans that aren't familiar with you?" He sounded more. He answered in Spanish. He sounded more like a forward. He didn't sound like, "Oh, I like to pull the strings and pass the ball." He talked about making diagonal runs in behind. That's not necessarily your job if you're a 10, right? If you're making diagonal in behind the back shoulder, you're probably playing on the front line. So I don't think he's a natural 10. I think they're looking at him just because he's got good football ideas, good football IQ. But we'll see. We'll see. Because there were some interesting movements yesterday and you could clearly see there were some rehearsed sequences that they did. You saw on more than one occasion, whether it was Negri on the left or Stefanelli, they would play a pass or it looked like they were playing a pass to Joseph Martinez from, let's say, go from left to right. So they'd play the pass to Joseph Martinez. Joseph would fake and dummy it and run forward. The ball would get to Campana, and Campana on one time would flick it forward to the unrushing Martinez to get him behind the defense. And it led to one chance that should have been put away that the goalkeeper made a spectacular save on. And then another sequence, the pass was either a little too hard, a little too overweight in the hit or in the pass, or Joseph just didn't have enough speed to get to it. One or the other. But either way, you saw that on more than one occasion. And I think things like that are what Inter Miami is going to look to do, given that they don't have a true number 10.
Yeah, and with Stefanelli, I felt like he impressed in the fact that the effort. I mean, he's all over the field. He was putting in a lot of effort, great work rate. But I didn't feel like, at least from what I noticed, I didn't see much other than hustle. So
I saw some ideas. I saw movement. I mean, if you want to touch on the hustle, I mean, he hustles. He definitely tried his hardest, his darndest, to make up for the Harvey Neville mistake there in the second half that leads to the first goal. He's racing back on the court to try to put on fire. Not necessarily every attacker that's playing a 10 or a 9 or a 9.5, whatever you want to call it. Not necessarily everyone's going to put in that type of effort to try to put out that.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate the hustle. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm a big fan of Campana is that he will hustle back, and his work rate I think is great as well. But in that number 10 role, I thought in the second half at least, Bryce Duke. I mean, and I thought he impressed a good chunk of the year last year when he got his opportunities. I thought for the most part he looked pretty good, and he got better as he went along. Do you feel like he's going to get a chance to really push for that role until we get maybe a summer, big player?
I mean, will he get a chance? There's a lot of games this year. It's not just MLS. There's open.
And I don't need a chance coming off the bench, like a real chance. Starting position.
You've got to earn that chance. If you're a substitute player, because I've had this debate with people on the podcast as well that say, they deserve a chance, they deserve opportunity. You earn that opportunity. You earn that.
Okay, well, I guess that's what I'm asking you. Has he earned it in your opinion?
I don't think he's earned it. I think he'll have a chance at some point this season to make a case for more minutes, and it's up to him to prove his worth and state his case. And if he does, then if he comes on the field and makes the impact like he did in yesterday's friendly during the regular season, then that will lead to more opportunities, if not starting opportunities. And if he builds on those or capitalizes on those, then Phil Neville would absolutely start him. Of course, Phil Neville's job depends on wins and losses. So
he's got a one-year contract.
Phil Neville's going to pick the players that are producing and that he thinks are best to help Inter Miami win games. Now, if you're asking me, do I think Bryce Duke is going to be there this season? Listen, if they want to go get Stefanelli, it's because they don't think Bryce Duke is ready to be that guy consistently. Now, maybe Bryce Duke has a revelation, or he's a revelation this season, and he has a breakout year, and he dishes 11 assists and scores 4 goals, or something that that you don't have chalked up on your preseason stats or preseason predictions. Maybe it's possible, but I don't see it, and I don't think Inter Miami's counting on that based on the fact that they went and got Stefanelli.
Sure, but yeah, I mean, you could maybe foresee a situation where you have both of them on the field. I mean, you could put Stefanelli, or I can't say his name, on the wing or something like that. Maybe. I mean, we'll see a lot of tinkering.
This team this year is definitely, at least right now to start the 2023 season, is not really focused on the defensive side of things. They're definitely looking to attack. They're definitely trying to score goals, push numbers forward. You saw that often yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The sheer number of bodies that were in the penalty area when mostly Franco Negri was looking across the ball from the left. So you saw a lot of bodies in the box. They clearly want to get volume in the attack. That will come at the expense of some defensive solidity at the back. Now, whether the team can do enough in the attack to offset what they lose on the defense, that will be instrumental to not only how they start the season, but how they do over the entire year. And whether they stick with this 4-4-2 diamond, or however you want to label it, 4-3-1-2, however you guys categorize it. But I think that's going to be a big component as to deciding.
Well, about these formations, man, because there's so many formations that I saw them play. But one of the guys in the chat room, Kata, he's asking, Franco, any word on Gregory staying or Busquets coming? Wrong.
I thought you were going to go with the other question.
Way in the beginning.
So
We don't always coordinate. So what are your
yeah,
thoughts on that? I mean, Gregory, there's been talks about Gregory going to Brazil, Busquets coming. You think that's going to happen halfway through the season? What's the deal there?
so where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been a lot of smoke with regards to Gregory and his future and whether he's going back to Brazil or whatnot. Phil Neville did say in a recent press conference that they're signing him to a new deal.
Yeah.
So that, to me, if that ends up being the case, if we hear something, which I imagine we would hear something this week as roster compliance comes due, I think we'll hear something this week on that. Maybe we don't, because it's not like they have to make a decision. He could be a DP to start the season, and then if they reach this deal 2 weeks from now, then they can change it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't impact in terms of him being on the roster. If he does re-sign, I have a hard time seeing Busquets coming. I could see him leaving now. Like, I could have seen him being sold with them, having a stopgap solution in the meantime, and for the longer term plan of in the summer, they're bringing in Busquets. But now, if Gregory's re-signing, I have a hard time seeing you make room for both Busquets longer term and Gregory short term. It's hard. It's hard for me to envision. But
Yeah, and I've heard, and we've all heard stuff, so you never know until it's actual reality, that strong possibility that Busquets is coming. Like I've heard people tell me it's happening. So, and I agree with you. If you've got Busquets, and I think, Ed, you said this in one of our chats one time, if you've got Busquets, why do you have Gregory? Other than you just like him because he's got a good personality. And it seems like that's what Neville talks about a lot, is that people like him as a leader and his personality. But, we don't have that kind of budget to just have two of the same players of that level.
I mean, if you look at it from a soccer standpoint, from a football standpoint, just pure football, right? Take the locker room part out of it, which is a huge part of it, because these are human beings. These are not robots. It's not FIFA. It's not Pro Evolution Soccer. These are real people. But let's just focus on the soccer. Gregory, his first year, was the best player on Inter Miami in 2021. Last year, 2022, was he at that same level?
No, I would agree. There was a drop off.
There was a drop off. Now you could say maybe that's because positionally he wasn't played as a 6 anymore. He's played as an 8, and in a position that necessarily doesn't suit to his strengths. But to me, why I think Busquets is a possibility, or why I did think it was more of a possibility up until this recent declaration from Phil Neville, was because this team is not focusing so much on the defensive side as of right now. They're looking to attack. Busquets is very good with the ball at his feet. Gregory is not very good with the ball at his feet. He's a bulldog. He's a pit bull terrier on the field. He's not scared to get into tackles. He can cover some ground, but he's not the best with the ball at his feet. I don't think he has a goal or an assist in his entire 2 seasons with Inter Miami. So Busquets will give you more in terms of the build-up, in terms of attacking soccer. And if that's what Inter Miami wants to be, which they keep claiming that that's what they want to do, then I could see why Busquets would fit into that mold and maybe Gregory does not, and why we've seen these reports. The first day of preseason, Gregory was one of the chosen players to speak, and there were questions about whether he was a DP or not. And Phil Neville was like, "Oh, I don't know," which nobody should believe that. Nobody should believe that Phil Neville doesn't know.
Yeah.
What the designation of his, not only one of his players, but his captain. He doesn't know what the designation of his captain is, Dan. I've got a bridge to sell you.
It might be a smokescreen, though. He might just be, and Neville might just be, throwing that out there just to confuse us. And he's got plans. But how do we fit Busquets and Messi, though?
Well, so if they're signing Gregory to a new deal, that might free up a DP spot, because it sounded like he was going to be a DP. I mean, but again, if you're bringing in Busquets, I don't think you're keeping Gregory. I think it's going to be one or the other. I don't think you're going to play a midfield of Gregory, Busquets, Jean Mota. There's some interesting decisions that will be made this year with this team, because there's a lot of options, but based on how they want to play, maybe not a whole lot of minutes for everyone to have or to go around. Because where's Robert Taylor play in this 4-4-2 diamond? I mean, Bryce Duke, you mentioned him. He could play as a 10. He could play as an 8. You've got Pizarro, who reminded everyone that he can still make a difference even if he's not having his best game. I don't think he had his best game yesterday, but he still came up. He still has that quality that maybe most of the other players on the team do not have. So, there's going to be some interesting decisions made along the way this season. I think Phil Neville, that's one of the challenges, and I did ask him this yesterday, Peter, with the process in terms of finding a system on February 10th in an interview after practice. He said, we're still finding it. We're going to find a system that best suits us. So is the 4-4-2 diamond it? I have questions as to whether they go 4-4-2 diamond on Saturday against CF Montreal. That's just me, though. Phil Neville said yesterday after the game that that's going to be the go-to formation this season. That's the first choice.
Yeah,
I have questions.
I heard him say that we're playing with two forwards regardless. Kata's asking along those lines, how long do you expect the diamond's going to last? How soon does he have to maybe give up on it? But it does sound like he's forcing it.
As long as the defense can hold up. I don't know if that's the concrete answer, but as long as that defense, if that defense starts leaking 3 goals and they're only scoring 2 and they're losing games 3-2 or 4-3, then I don't think that diamond's sticking around too long. Look, I'll tell you guys this is information, not supposition, not my sensation. I know that the team, and wouldn't be a big secret, during preseason they've used a bunch of different looks. 4-4-2 diamond is not the only one they've used in games.
Sure.
A lot of these closed door friendlies that they don't want the results to come out from, and all these things. I can tell you, they've used different formations with the starting group in different games.
Well, that makes sense. If you're going to close the doors, you're closing doors for a reason. Might as well experiment.
Give us the results. Give us the results.
I know, but it's not just Inter Miami. It seems like going across the league. So many of these teams this year, I guess more so than in the past, are so secretive. Like they're cooking up some magic potion that nobody's ever seen. They've got a brand of football that's so unique to the world that we can't share it. I think it's silly.
Is MLS at that level? But
they're acting like it.
So I don't even know if from what I've seen on Twitter, I've seen teams put out lineups. I've seen teams put out the Inter Miami St. Louis City game, which was open to the media here in Fort Lauderdale. St. Louis City put out tweets, put out a whole bunch of information. We were there. We were tweeting out lineups, tactics, performances, goals, and Inter Miami just mutes, which I don't really understand.
Yeah, sure. A few times you mentioned that they're not focusing on defense. So, question, how has the defender Christoph looked to you?
Solid. Yesterday was...
Yeah, I thought he looked okay yesterday.
No, I think he looks... again, it's one game, preseason, but first game, he looks a bit more polished than Damian Lowe, which, played in Europe for the bulk of his career at a very, very competitive club in his country that has international experience. He's played for his national team as well. Just looked a little bit calmer, more composed. You didn't see necessarily those type of, again, it's one game, but you didn't see necessarily the type of rash challenges you would see from Damian Lowe from time to time that get yellow carded for or give away a dangerous foul outside the penalty area. You saw a much more composed player, but again, it's just one game. It's my first look at him, so let's see over an extended period, over a longer sample size, if what the jury is on him.
How do you think this guy fits in this year? He did score. He got to do his Joker. I thought he looked pretty good in the Vasco da Gama game as well. Not great, but better than I expected, maybe, because my expectations have really been lowered. But how here's the thing: is I thought for sure that they would use their buyout clause on him and then bring in another DP or something like that. But nope, here he is. How do you think he fits in this year, Pizarro?
It's an interesting question. Like I said already earlier, I don't necessarily think he had his best game yesterday.
Right.
He had a heck of a goal.
He had a good moment.
He had a good moment in a longer spell of play.
Right.
And if you balance it all out, yes, the goal is important, but you probably need more from that position consistently. Is he a lockdown starter on this team? I don't think so. As of right now, and if they stick with that 4-4-2 diamond to start, or for much of the start, I don't know if he's an every game starter.
Hey, do you know this?
If he scores goals like that, then it helps his cause. But I don't know.
Do you know the answer to this question with MLS rules? That buyout clause. Do you have to use it before the season starts, or can you buy him out in the middle of the season to say come summer when they need that DP spot?
It's a good question. As far as I know, it's always been used before the season starts.
Right.
But maybe you could use it halfway through. You never know with MLS rules, man. Like, unless it's already been done before, they can just say, "All right, to heck with it. We'll just decide we can do it now." So,
they'll say something like,
"It's always been done in before the season starts." Right? That's why you always hear teams that are in like DP predicaments, like, "Oh, roster compliance isn't until X and X date, so we've got some time to figure it all out." And you've seen the buyouts before the season begins, whether it was Matuidi a year ago or whatever happened there. Because
if Messi comes, everything's going to change, right?
Well, I mean, Messi comes, of course.
Everything's out the window.
Everybody goes.
Everything's brand new. Yeah, brand new everything.
Well, that's the thing with Messi, right? Like, if Messi comes, then you've got to build a team around Messi. And, I mean, you definitely want Messi if Messi's available and he's willing to come. But
then we'll get like priorities. We'll get priorities like LAFC does. They have a monster of a team. So, why not us?
I mean, as long as Inter Miami doesn't break rules again, then why not?
That's true.
So you mentioned roster compliance is coming up. Do you foresee them dropping anybody? I mean, usually somebody has to go. Who do you think's on the chopping block?
I've got a name for you guys to keep your eyes on here in the next few days. Kieran Gibbs.
Please get rid of him and Marsman. They're too expensive to be sitting on the bench.
Kieran Gibbs was not on the bench yesterday.
Oh.
When Franco Negri went down with that injury scare there in the first half, Harvey Neville was the player warming up, as well as Corentin John. Kieran Gibbs was not warming up. Kieran Gibbs was not even on the bench yesterday. He did not dress. So,
but
keep an eye on him.
Does he still have another year on his contract?
He's still on the roster officially as of right now.
No, but is his contract like does he have a full? Do they owe him money? In other words, I mean, because that would be a situation where you'd have to buy him out. Then, I mean, if there's a guaranteed contract or something for another year, we don't know. It's MLS. I know that's always hard to find out.
If he opts to retire, then they can work something else.
Right, sure.
Brian Shawcross retired, and then he was an assistant coach with Inter Miami too. And then I don't know what's happened with
That's
that.
the move.
I haven't seen Brian Shawcross in a while, so but things can be worked out. Things can be finessed or massaged.
It's funny you say that because that was my argument last year. Like, if Higuain, for example, wanted to play one more year, I was like, they could give him a contract for a year where it was lower than a DP because he wasn't worth DP level at that point, and then promise him a coaching job where he gets the boatload of his money. Now, I don't know if that's legal, but like you mentioned, things happen in this league. Things happen, so I would not be surprised. But yeah, Marsman is another one that's got to go because he's making over $500,000 to sit on the bench.
Yeah, I think but where's he gonna go? Who's taking him at that much money in MLS? Probably nobody.
Oh no, that's the problem.
When's his contract over?
Yeah.
I think he's got
I'm not
100%
clear. I don't know if he's got another year or two, but I mean, I don't think he's going to rush to sign. What's it called? Agree to cut losses. Together. Yeah. I don't see that happening. He's getting paid pretty well. He probably wants to be the starter. I mean, and listen, if Drake Callender has a bad run of form, Drake Callender goes down with an injury, Nick Marsman is the first man up. So, our next man up. So, Miami may still need to count on him.
If Callender goes down, we're going to be happy we have Marsman. He's still a good goalkeeper, but at the end of the day, he's at this point he's a backup, and so
That's the thing with goalkeepers. Only one can start at any given time.
That is true.
There can only be one. What movie is that from?
I don't know, Ed. Tell me.
Might be
Highlander.
Highlander? You're quoting Highlander. I mean, that... All right, whatever.
They're coming out with a remake. I don't know if you heard.
And they made a TV series, too.
That's pretty old, so don't worry about it.
All right. So let's maybe finish with this. Where do you think we finish this year? I mean, me personally, I don't think. Okay, you started off saying that we have a more continuity. I guess we've got a system in place. Things will look a little bit better this year. But I personally, granted, that's why we're talking to you. I'm not at the practices. I'm not at the St. Louis scrimmage. I'm not seeing all the players. but I'm not overly excited. I think we're kind of just maybe a hint better than last year. Losing Pozuelo is huge. So, getting the 4th spot in the playoffs, which is I know what they want. I don't think, we were in 7th, I think, to get in. We might be 6th. I think we're just a slight bit better. What do you think?
I think there's more interesting, potentially better role players in the group. But again, they're missing that top end quality. And you touched on Pozuelo. You touched on Pozuelo, but Higuaín's gone too. And Higuaín saved Inter Miami often last year.
Because of Pozuelo. Not always because of Pozuelo. There were games where Gonzalo Higuaín just scored a goal and did it on his own. He unlocked Higuaín. I think he unlocked him.
I think Pozuelo's arrival helped Phil Neville, and he said it himself, take the shackles off the team. Instead of being so defensive-minded, became more attack-minded because you had a true number 10. And that true number 10, Higuaín can play. Listen, I'm not going to dive into last year, but Higuaín, at his best, when he was playing at Inter Miami, is when he had a number 10 that he trusted behind him. Federico, when he played in front of Federico, you saw Gonzalo Higuaín play as a 9, and you saw him produce from time to time. Pizarro was back there. Yeah, they didn't really understand each other. They really didn't click on the field. So that's, you saw issues there. Then they brought Pozuelo, and then it's not a surprise to me or not a shock that Higuaín again was able to make it work. So yes, I think Pozuelo, of course, had a huge instrumental piece of it, but I think it's just also it helped Higuaín, but Higuaín also did his part in there. So you've lost 2 of your key attackers from that second half of last season. Have they been replaced? I mean, I know they're looking at Jose Martinez to try to rediscover that form from a few years ago. I don't know if he gets there. So I don't know. I've covered MLS a long time, and preseason predictions are very tough in MLS.
It is hard.
At midseason, you can sign somebody, and then the whole year changes, and then everything goes. So I could give you a preseason prediction for the midway point, and I think Inter Miami is going to start slow. I think it's going to take them some time to find the best system. I don't know if the 4-4-2 diamond, again, me personally, I don't know if that's going to be the solution. There are some interesting things from a football standpoint in terms of the ideas, the flicks, the passes, the interchange and play that show promising and encouraging signs. But again, you got to see how that defense holds up. One of the colleagues next to me yesterday in the press box was saying, I want to see this team have to defend, and we didn't see Inter Miami have to defend over in long stretches yesterday. Now, hey, if they can do that over the course of the regular season, you'll take that. But I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the case, especially when you have injuries, yellow cards, as things pile up over the course of the season. So tough to say. I would say fringe playoff team. If Messi arrives,
well, everything changes. Yeah.
Then, I gotta agree with him, Peter Brown, because I don't think they've got enough talent. Unless they bring Messi and Pozuelo, then I think we're a championship team with the players that we have now. But right now, man, we're on the very edge, and I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs.
Well, don't worry, we'll make it because everybody's going to make the playoffs because they need to have a bunch of games for Apple TV.
Hey, if Uncle Ed is saying that they're not going to make the playoffs, then I'd be concerned if I'm.
And I was thinking about this.
Uncle Ed always says that they're going to make it. We've talked every season, and I always ask you. Peter usually is like, nah, I don't think so. And Uncle Ed's usually like, yes. If Uncle Ed has changed his tune and is saying, I don't know,
we're in trouble.
Then Inter Miami may be in trouble. But listen,
we're in trouble, man.
Yeah, see, I think we flipped.
I think it's enough.
I'm a little more confident. I don't think we're that much better, but maybe just a slight tinge better. But again, I think it's going to be easier to get in the playoffs. And I read that article that Neville's not exactly thrilled the fact that we still don't know what the playoffs may look like. And here we are a week before the season starts, or less than that now. So, yeah.
That number 10 is available, just so you guys, I'm sure you guys are well aware, but that number 10, no one is taking Pizarro's back, but he was not given that number 10, so.
Actually, before we let you go, we do have one voicemail because I did listen to the voicemail and they throw you some love, so.
Oh, that's nice.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello?
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed and all the great fans. It's Italia, one world, one goal. So wipe out my other messages because now I see that you have Franco Panizo on the show. Oh my gosh, what a gem he is. Thank you so much, Franco, for covering in such intense detail that you do, especially on set pieces. And let's see what you do in the media game. Maybe you get a set piece in there. The pressure is on. I also suggested that maybe they invite some of the other podcast people and, of course, Peter and Uncle Ed. I actually starred in the media game. In 1998, I was dabbled in media with Michelle Kaufman, no less. Jeff Kassar was trying to sub me out, and I got mad. But anyway, it was really fun to see, and I'm glad they brought it back. Actually, I think last year was the first year. And yes, love the new kits are amazing. So thank you to the team for doing, all these great. They tried to do the barbecue, which I think turned out really well. They tried to do a little more fan interaction with the players, which I hear turned out really well. And looking forward to great things. And also shout out to Peter, who was representing us on Battered Herons podcast. They do a great job, and they represent kind of what's going on. There's one of the fans there is Colombian that, of course, loves our Fusion days and was wearing our Fusion jersey, and the other was a new fan. So Peter kind of spelled it all out for people that don't realize the history of soccer all the way back from the Toros.
She means
through the Strikers and the Infusion, and then again with Miami FC, and then again another Miami FC, and then again with the Strikers again, and now we're into Miami. So imagine, like we said, he's got a heck of a jersey closet over there in the Casa Peter. So looking forward to seeing what happens, and love you guys, love the show. Thanks for all the shout outs of keeping the inspiration going, and let's hope it's a great year. Thanks. Bye.
All right. She mentioned the media game, and Kato's also asking me to ask about the press game. That's coming up, and or did it already happen? It's coming up, right?
No, it's coming up on Tuesday.
And you got drafted by Joseph Martinez's team. Am I correct?
That is correct. You've done your homework. Well prepared there, Peter. Yes, I'm on Team La Noche on Tuesday, taking on Team Heartbeat. Should be a fun affair. I'm looking forward to it. It's at Drive Pink Stadium. I think we're playing 13 on 13 or something. Full field.
Full field. Do you have the energy to go full field? You've been working out?
I don't know if I've been working out, but
I don't have the energy. That's why.
I'm still fairly young enough where I could probably hang. It's only a 30-minute game, 2 15-minute halves, so I could probably last those 30 minutes. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. There's going to be interviews before the game, and they've done it very nicely. I know we've been pushing for years to get something like this done. So, shout out to the Inter Miami communications team for organizing this. I know that this is not easy to pull off, especially the week before MLS game. For us to use the field that they're going to play on Saturday is, it's remarkable. So, shout out to them. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a heck of a time. I wish you guys could go see it yourselves, but I think there's going to be clips sent out to us and that we'll be able to share. So hopefully there will be a Franco Panizo set piece assist in there somewhere, maybe an Olympic goal. No,
an assist? I want to see a goal. No assist.
I always ask, since 2020, I've asked Diego Alonso and I've asked Phil Neville about set pieces because Inter Miami historically in the short existence has not been good. So there's like a running joke there that in set pieces. So people want to see a set piece Panizo assist. So I have to deliver one, I hope. But there's a lot of interesting things she touched on. I would love to dissect. The jersey's amazing. Probably the best jersey Inter Miami has to date. I just hate the monochrome crest. That's just me though.
I love it. I love it.
And she mentioned Battered Herons, and I think I saw them leave a comment here. I have to get back to them. I just saw their DM last night after the game, and I need to get back to them because they wanted to have me on as a guest on their podcast, and I would love to do it. So if they still can have me on, I'll be there. But yeah, sorry. It's the week before the season starts.
Sure.
A lot of preseason preview stuff. A lot of
listen, Battered Herons, you're good guys. I had fun with you. But Franco, Ed, and I, we go way back. So he's here first.
Blog Talk Radio.
There you go. Blog Talk Radio. Exactly. Go way, way back when Franco was basically a teenager. But almost.
And look at
Pretty
Franco
close.
now, man. When I grow up, I want to be like Franco.
No, you don't want to be like me.
You're already
Listen,
grown, Ed.
listen. I've like I try to give you guys as much news and information about the team as possible. The team doesn't necessarily always enjoy that.
Well,
So,
that's your job.
but it's that's exactly so. I fight the good fight to try to keep you guys as informed as possible. Like I don't think that any of these preseason games, the result should be a mystery. If you're in Miami and you don't want to tweet out the lineup or your tactics or your formation, okay. But like the result and the goal scorers, I mean, you're a professional soccer team. You're a professional soccer team. And you claim to be one of the biggest teams, or you want to be one of the biggest teams in this hemisphere, then I'm going to cover you like one of the biggest teams. And, if it ruffles your feathers that I'm able to get my hands on the scores and the goal scorers, sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Keep doing what you're doing. And so how can everybody follow what you're doing? So we know we can follow you at Franco Panizo on Twitter. Tell everybody about the website and everything else they can follow what you're doing.
Yeah, so everything's on Miami Total Futbol. It's Miami Total and Futbol is written in Spanish. So we have a Substack where I put out game reports, what sources tell me, just little news and notes there, some articles on occasion. I've been writing less now because I've been focusing more on the podcast, which comes out on a weekly basis. When the games get going, we might go to 2 times a week, but you can also hear the podcast there. It's mostly in English, although we drop some Spanish phrases and words in there because we're in South Florida.
Why not?
And of course. And who doesn't like talking football in Espanol? So we do a little bit of both. It's serious, but also fun. We crack some jokes and tease each other. We've already had some banter about the media game on Tuesday. So, but we also bring you the news, the insight, our analysis, our opinions, and just to help, with the daily dialogue of what's going on with this team. Because, besides you guys, besides some of us on the media side, besides some of the other fan-led podcasts, this team's not really talked about in the day-to-day. Here in South Florida, it's not on radio shows,
right.
It's not on TVs, it's not on talk shows. So, we help the narrative around the team. And for better, for worse, whether you agree, disagree, I welcome, if you disagree with me 100% or 100% of the time then that's fine. But let's have some conversation. There's nothing worse than a team who has an indifferent market with regards to how they're performing, how they're doing. So, whatever it is, good, bad, or ugly, fire it my way. But, I will be talking Inter Miami. I'll share this with you guys before you guys kick me out of here. I believe I am the only media member to have been to every Inter Miami home game.
Okay.
In 3 years. Yeah. So I'm proud of that streak, and I look to continue that this year. I think I'm the only one that's been to every single home game since 2020 when we were allowed to get back in. We were allowed into the stadium during the pandemic. When fans weren't even allowed in. When you guys were sitting in, what is that, the northeast corner and watching through the gates, we were invited to the press box from that first game after MLS is back, which was Inter Miami, Orlando City. Inter Miami won 3-2, if I'm not mistaken. So I've been at every home game since then. I have not missed a home game yet, and I hope, knock on wood that I didn't jinx myself. I hope to keep that going for a 4th consecutive season.
I'm pretty sure I got a similar streak. I think I've been to every home game. I don't think I missed any that, obviously that we're allowed to go to. So I think I'm in the same boat as you. I know Ed, he's missed a handful, but
I've missed.
I don't.
Fiddlesticks. Yeah, stupid life reality
weekday games. But he's not a fan of them. But anyways, all right. Hey, thanks a lot, Franco. We will see you throughout the season. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, and everybody check out everything he's doing on Miami Total Football and at Franco Panizo. Thanks so much, Franco.
Thank you, guys.
All right. See you later. And then, oops. All right. Well, I hung up on Franco and Ed, so Ed needs to call back as well. Here he is. Bringing him in just here. There you go. Yeah, Ed.
I think hung up on the wrong person out.
I thought I hung up on him. I thought, I did. Well, yeah, I think I hung up on both of you.
I was worried. I was like, "What happened?" I think.
No, I hung up on both of you. I think, but and now you're frozen. So now I messed up your internet, it looks like. All right. What's going on with Ed? All right, so there was some questions in the chat. I was Chris parking. Let me find this again. Chris Arjun was asking any ideas as to why the yellow and red parking lots were closed yesterday. Well, for one, obviously they didn't need the number of spaces, but from what I'm hearing is that there will be no yellow lot. But it's a little confusing because on their website and everything, it shows no yellow lot on the parking diagram. But if you go to the Park Mobile app, you can, as of a couple days ago, you could buy yellow lot parking. So I don't know. It is a good question. What's going on with the yellow and red lot parking? So hopefully we can get Ed back in here. Oh, now he's saying stupid dog ran over my connection. It's always something with Ed's connection. It's always something with his connection. Yeah, battered herons are mentioning yellow is no longer a parking lot. That's what we're hearing. However, you can go on Park Mobile and buy it. As of Saturday morning, I went through the process of buying parking for next weekend, and I was able to. I didn't complete the purchase, but I wanted to just show that you could. So anyways, and that was from Battered Herons. So yeah, you guys, if you haven't checked out, last week I was on the Battered Herons podcast. Great bunch of guys. So check them out and check out the segment. I think it was mentioned by One World One Goal. We talk a lot about the history of the supporters clubs and stuff like that. So lots of fun. Go check what they're doing out. Also, if you while we're waiting for Ed, one of the things at the game yesterday, the Austin game, was, what did they call it? The Merch Madness, I think is what it was called. And so this was all game used merchandise, apparel. And I thought, just by when I read that, I thought, oh, these are going to be like overpriced because part of it is to raise money for their charity. So thought that they would be way overpriced. Maybe it's a Campana jersey, for example. But that was not the case. What they were very affordable practice jerseys, old things that were available. So I got this Fort Lauderdale CF shirt. Doesn't exist anymore, right? I had to get this, Ed. I had to get this. And also got a rain jacket with Fort Lauderdale CF. Got a 3/4 zip, pink Inter Miami and a gray Inter Miami zip. Oh, there's the culprit, right?
This is the guy that did it.
That's the troublemaker. Oh, he's doing it again, Ed. Here's Ed's frozen again. There he is. And he's gone. Ed is trying to show off like, hey, I got this dog. And he breaks it again. Yeah, exactly, Esteban. Oops, goes Ed. Let's try this for a third or fourth time. Can you stay online, Ed? Can you just do us a favor and stay online? We had
trying, man. I get the dog on for a little bit and it got disconnected again.
Yeah,
I think he touched something.
I know. I'm trying to show off your little dog.
I'm not moving anymore.
Don't move. So, anyways, yeah. So I spent all these things, like the rain jackets. Those type of things are normally like $100. It was $20. This was like a $10 shirt, $5 or $10 shirt. Everything was dirt cheap. Even my brother, he got a goalkeeper shirt for $5. All of it was cool. So, it was neat. It was a neat day. You missed it, Ed.
Cool.
You missed it, Ed.
Well, yeah, man. Unfortunately, life is, sometimes gets in the way of, of my fun.
Yeah. So, hard cutting question from Kata: were there arepas at the stadium? Were there arepas at the stadium? I did not see any arepas. I was more focused on the festivities and things like that, and then eventually I just got a drink and sat down, and then I hung out with a few of you guys. But I didn't see any. But if there are arepas in the stadium, Ed and I will do a food review. Look for more of those this year. We need to do more food reviews. Those were fun. We got some good interaction from you guys with those.
Fun and yummy.
Right. We get to eat, so that's always good.
Anything that's good for my tummy, because unlike Peter, I'm not on a diet, as you can tell.
I'm always on a diet.
Pudgy.
Always. I'm always
Pudgy.
on a diet. Yeah. So, Ed,
I got the body of a cherub.
This is going to probably go long because now, I had this segment all planned out that would probably take about 30 minutes. And we got to cram it into around 9. So we might go a little bit over. But I wanted to go through and give our thoughts and opinions on some of these. Now, we don't necessarily have to go through all of them, but we can. I have all of them preloaded and ready to go. What are our thoughts on the new Inter Miami La Noche, right? Is that how you say it?
You should have left it for last, but I'm glad you brought it up, Peter. I
think we should start with our team.
It's very pink. The borders or whatever are very pink, and I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't show in this photo. It shows like the borders are almost whitish, but they are as bright as the highlight all around it. So I love it too. I think here's the thing. I've heard some people complain that saying it's too similar to the previous black jersey, La Palma. And my argument to that is, don't you want your team to have an identity, especially in the early stages where they're still trying to build a brand? And so I would think you want them to have a consistent look with just minor adjustments. And these, I think, were good minor adjustments. So I think we would all agree that this was a winner.
Thumbs up. Uncle Ed gives a thumbs up. Peter Brown gives a thumbs up.
All right, Ed.
So yeah, I happen to think we all like it. Atlanta.
What do you think on the Atlanta shirt? How did Atlanta do this year?
It looks very much like last year's almost. Well, they have the same.
I think I think what they did is from what I understand, they might have flipped the red with the black. So there was more red. There was more black than there was red. So they flipped it. I love it. I think it's a classic look. Again, kind of similar concept to where I said about Inter Miami's having a consistent brand. I think it makes sense. I think that is a classy looking kit, Ed.
You can tell it's Atlanta. So,
right.
Like you said, they keep it consistent. You know what team it is. So I like it. It's good. Peter likes it too. Notice the sound effect. That means it's a good. We like it. We both.
My
agree.
daughter picked the sound effect. My daughter thought that was a good sound effect for we like it. So there you go. This one, I'm just curious how you feel. Maybe a little more controversial.
It's busy, but I like the whole Austin look. The whole green thing that they got going on and black. I like it. A little busy, like I said. I think maybe that's why you might not like it. I
would say I love the color scheme and I like the stripes. I don't like all the million different patterns of it. My brother took one look at this. I showed it to him on the phone. Because since we were playing Austin, I said, hey, here, check out their new jersey. And he said, oh, somebody's going to throw up looking at that thing. It's going to mess up somebody's eyes. So for me, that's a fail, Ed.
Well, I happen to like it. But yeah, now that you mention it, all that green, I mean, only a Yeti could like, right?
Oh.
Yeti, I got plenty of those, folks.
Charlotte? And for anybody that's listening to this in audio only, I'm sorry. This is definitely a very visual segment.
Yeah. It's the Charlotte shirt. I mean, you could
Charlotte going with the Orlando City purple, but the way they're blue looks with that purple, I think looks awesome.
Yeah, you like it. I don't like it too much. I just think it's too plain. Just, is there a pattern on it? I can't.
There looks like there's like a little pattern, kind of similar to how we had the little herons the first year.
Or look at this white one where you can barely tell that there's a logo on here somewhere.
I think it's similar to that.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks like there's some sort of repeating pattern of some sort. I think, Ed, it's a win.
You think it's a win? I think it's a. I'm trying to look at
split decision on Charlotte. Split decision on Charlotte. Chicago. How do we feel about Chicago? Oh, damn. Throwing up.
Oh, man. Peter, I think it's terrible.
Oh, wow.
What incarnations were these guys thinking? I expected Fire or something, Chicago, aren't they? They're not the Chicago Fire anymore. What incarnations are they? Croatia?
I mean, they're trying to make it look like the Kata likes the Charlotte one, by the way. There is a slight delay, so by the time we see your comments, we've probably already moved on. And One World, One Goal says Atlanta equals Metro Stars. Yeah, it's definitely a throwback.
Throwback.
Yeah, so they're trying to make this look more similar color-wise to the Chicago flag. So that's the deal with that. Not my favorite. I don't think it's the worst, but I would agree with you, Ed.
Extra effect.
I didn't know it would keep doing it if I held down the button.
Well, apparently it does. It kind of looks like Croatia. Croatia has a little look like that. Kind of.
Croatia's looks good though.
Yeah, that one looks terrible. This is a terrible Croatia knockoff.
All right, so if you didn't like Chicago's, I'm really curious. And these are alphabetical, by the way, because that's just the easiest way. I'm curious what you think about this hunk of junk. Cincinnati. Oof. Going with a solid blue, which looks like somebody threw some detergent.
I have to peek on this side.
It looks like somebody puked on the shirt.
It sure
somebody
does,
threw up on the
all
shirt,
over the place.
and it just went.
Yeah.
So Cincinnati
Cincinnati, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, they're historically a bad team, and now they have a bad jersey to go along with them being a bad team. Although last year they were better. They got that player Brenner.
What's the name of this? Splash or something?
Oh, I don't know the names of them. I didn't do all that research. I just found you a bunch of idiots, a bunch of images.
I just found you a bunch of idiots.
A bunch of idiots. I meant images.
Well, yeah, no, they're idiots too. I mean, whoever came up with this, design. But let's go. Let's keep moving. This one's the worst one so far.
All right, they're not getting better though.
Oof. Yeah,
they're not getting better. Colorado, what are you doing, Colorado? What is this pattern? Colorado. What does that mean? What is it? It's just like some random shapes we decided to throw up on a shirt.
Let's get some rhombuses and throw them on the shirt and put the UC Health thing on there, and we're good.
I mean, the only good thing about the logo is I kind of like how they did the whole one color Colorado logo. But other than that, it's a hunk of garbage.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got a strong contender here with Columbus Crew.
That's not bad. It kind of looks a little bit like ours.
Yeah.
They got a
little more pattern going on in there.
Yeah. And, similar to Inter Miami's. I don't think it's that bad. It's not the best one yet. But
One World says, Cincy looks like a tire ran over a puddle.
Yep. So I guess I'd give it. Yeah, I think we're okay with that one.
All right. Dallas with a throwback to the Dallas burn. So it's got all these like little fire symbols all over it. It's got the little Dallas burn, horse breathing fire on there somewhere. I love the fact that it is a throwback, but the goldish kind of color that they used for the fire, it's ugly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kata's going back to the Colorado. He thinks that one, Colorado's, is clean. Don't agree. But all right, Dallas, you're out. Now, pink has become a popular color, Ed, because, I don't know, we have it.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to use pink. Seattle Sounders.
They used it. Remember, everybody knew we had pink.
Nobody used it until until
that?
Inter Miami was announced, and then Seattle Sounders, used it for like their secondary
Try
kit.
to steal it from us.
Yeah,
They
before
tried to
we
steal it
play.
from us, Peter Brown.
Before we played a game. So what do you think? This is supposed to represent the cherry blossoms. So for people in DC, they think this is a beautiful shirt. They feel like it really represents something they've been asking for, apparently, for a while. I don't hate it. I just don't like that they're trying to steal our color. Oh,
just because of that.
Ed all right. They're going rapid fire on some of these. There's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a lot of teams, Ed.
Yeah, man. They're just saying what? And is that that's very orangey.
Houston, okay, but if you're gonna be Houston and you're gonna be orange, you be orange. You go all in on the orange. Right?
They are totally into that, and just because of that, because they have personality, I'm going to give it okay. Just because.
I agree. I love it. It reminds me also of the Holland jersey, so I'm a fan as well. Kata does not like DC. When World One Goal wants to see us do a throwback to our fusion, I don't think it'll ever happen. I talked about that on
maybe it's a third kit.
I don't think it'll ever happen though. I think I talked about that. I think on the Battered Heron show. I don't know if it was before or after the show, but we talked. I don't think it'll ever happen because it's considered a failed franchise. So I don't think they would
win
do
the
it.
Supporter Shield.
I know, but they never talk about it. They never show any highlights. Look, I'm all over this Apple TV MLS season pass. I've been watching like a lot of the content. I don't see really anything of the fusion on there other than the highlight reel for Valderrama. And even in that highlight reel, they showed mostly Tampa Bay and a little bit of Colorado. They showed like one highlight for the fusion. So fusion, they don't talk about the fusion. So
how dare they?
I think this is a win. All right.
Yeah.
Kansas City. I think my brother or my daughter, somebody in my house took one look at this and said, "Oh, they made a Charlie Brown shirt."
That's true. That's true.
I don't mind it.
I think it's rather plain. I'm so. Does a so count? Man, it's good.
Yeah.
There's no sound for the so or no.
Not really, unless you want to go.
Okay, that'll work.
LA Galaxy.
It's a little plain.
I like it.
It's not the ugliest I've seen. Yeah.
I like it. It's more that similar to the green of the original LA. So, the original logo and their original color. So it's kind of a throwback to that. It's kind of this bluish green, though. I think they used to use a little more green to their cup, but I don't know.
And the logo, look at the logo. You have to show off that they got 5 stars.
Yeah, they don't need any more stars. But
yeah, I think they should stop there. Right there. Stop there.
All right. I think this is a good shirt. I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't Ed, I'm not from LA. I've only spent a few days there this past year. What does this 3 color, the green, yellow, and red, what does that signify in LA?
I have no idea. I was going to ask you, Peter.
Because they even have that little. They have a little flag
Mexico's
there.
Flag?
Yeah.
Is that? I can't even. There's no way to zoom in on that. Maybe the Mexican flag.
No, that's not a Mexican flag. I don't know. No, I don't have enhance. This is not CSI.
Yeah, sorry, man. Well, next time we'll look into that because I'm curious to see what that is. And
Steve thinks it's the flag of Los
Angeles.
Angeles. That's what Steve Munoz is thinking. He's probably right. I don't know. It makes sense.
Might be. I don't remember, man. I was born in LA, and I just don't remember their flag. I remember California's flag.
All right, it's a winner. LAFC. You know what this looks like? Somebody was smoking in too much, and it got a lot of nicotine all over the shirt, and it's got this yellowish green hue to it. I think this is ugly.
Yeah, I expected something better from the reigning champs. LAFC usually had cool jerseys, but this one, sorry guys.
I'm right there with you. All right. This is a shirt that a lot of people, I saw people commenting, they thought this is a shirt that would represent Miami more so than Minnesota because the color scheme. It's kind of a
Wow.
But
it looks like somebody's phasing out or something, out of existence.
Yeah, it's like they forgot they forgot to design the second half of the shirt.
Yeah, and what happened? Oh, look, I'm disappearing. Oh, yeah.
Like, look, the blue with the pink with the black, if that was throughout the whole shirt, you might have a winner. But the fact that you stopped halfway through the shirt, no bueno.
If you're gonna start something, finish.
So I don't know if this was a new shirt because out of all those nice images I showed you, Montreal is the only team that did not have one of those images. So I'm not even sure if this is a new shirt, but it's a Montreal shirt and it's ugly.
Yeah, it looks like
Next.
something's water's going down it or something.
Next.
You didn't even. You knew I was gonna say I didn't like it.
So
Nashville,
and this is interesting. So I saw so many people comment that this is based off of Johnny Cash. So this is all black because in respect of Johnny Cash, the Man in Black shirt. So people love it because he's got ties to Nashville. He's from Nashville, something like that. People love the shirt, but all it is a black shirt. There's nothing. All it is they wrapped a fun story around a boring black shirt.
Just to sell. It's merchandising, Peter. Merchandising.
Yeah, this one I didn't get. It's it looks okay because black and silver look good together, but it's for a year this is a year where the MLS jerseys really went out there a little bit. And I think the last generation of jerseys, people were accusing them of being very plain and boring. Well, this year they went the complete opposite. They allowed them to have more fun. And this, though, kind of goes in that plain, boring category.
They just want to make cash like that, that picture they got there. Exactly.
What do you think about the new Peru jersey?
Looks like Peru.
Yeah, it's a new Peru jersey or a River Plate jersey that we have here for New England, and you can't get that thumb down more than you. I on the other hand, I like it.
You like Peru?
I am a fan of almost any jersey that has a sash. I don't know why. I think that looks good on a shirt.
You're a sucker for sash. You're a sucker for sash.
The U.S. jersey that had that sash going across it is my favorite U.S. jersey that we've had. And Galaxy have done it in the years past, and I always liked their jerseys. So I'm a fan of it. But you clearly are not. Steve Munoz is saying as far as that, again, there's a delay. If the Raiders had a soccer kit on the Nashville, but he does agree with me. Rev's kit is okay. He likes the gradient. Yeah. I like it. I'm not saying it's the best jersey ever, but I like it.
Not a fan.
All right, Ed. New York City? Or, I'm sorry, this is not New York City. This is Red Bull, New York.
Red Bull, New York.
Right.
Another one that looks like it's kind of dirty.
It does look dirty.
Red Bulls, so you can tell it's Red Bulls, but it's dirty. Come on, guys, wash your hands. Don't put it on your, just like me grabbing dirty hands and put it on this.
Kind of a little bit like a little tie dye on there, I guess, is what they're doing. But then it's got that yellowish hue over it that just makes it look dirty. Here, the positive is, you buy it, you wash it, and it's
okay.
It's okay if you spill something on it. No one's gonna notice. Because it's already it already looks a little dirty. All right.
What we got?
This one's busy. This one's busy, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind it. You can tell it's that. There's another case of you could tell it's New York City.
It's kind of what, the subway tiles type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
something.
So. They got the what's it called, the little flame thing from the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, is that what that is?
There on the side.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Championship star show offs. So It's
all right.
within acceptable parameters, Peter Brown. Acceptable parameters.
Wow, Kata really likes that Red Bull New York shirt.
I think he's more of a New Yorker.
He may be. All right, we're gonna keep going. We're
going on overtime here.
Overtime. I got to go for a walk still. Orlando City. Now I know we don't like Orlando as a team, but it's a sharp looking jersey, Ed.
Yeah, it's not bad, honestly, excluding the Orlando logo and Orlando Health and all that stuff that that we hate that team.
Right.
It's a nice shirt, but just because
it's Orlando? Mm-hmm. But on design alone, Ed. On design alone.
You're going to like it.
And it's okay. I think it looks good. The way with the gold and everything, it stands out. I think they're calling this the wall shirt or something. So like all those little blocks supposed to represent the wall where their supporters are.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Now, when I was on the Battered Herons show, we talked a little bit about them. We didn't show pictures or anything, so I was just going off my memory. And they asked me what jersey at that time. There was only like the first wave, I think, was released. And the one that I said that I was a fan of was this. And it is also busy. But there's something about the fact that the logo, they stripped away the entire logo and they only have the snake from the logo, I thought was cool.
I like the snake.
Yeah.
I like the snake, but that's about it. It's just too busy for me.
I mean, it's a camo shirt. It's basically just a camo shirt.
Who's this Thomas guy? Who's this Thomas fella?
They need to get a player named Thomas so that,
Yeah, they're supposed to put the names in the back, man. Somebody tell them what the hell.
So they screwed up? Is that what you're saying?
They screwed up the name. Yeah, dude. Now they printed millions of these, and now they're going to sell them they give them away to all the Thomas
and if your name isn't Thomas, you're going to be pissed off. You're like, wait a minute, but I'm who's our old player over there in Philly? They got Damian Lowe, so Damian Lowe's going to be upset. It doesn't say Lowe on the back, and
it's going to say Thomas. That's going to be confusing. Thomas with the ball. He's passing it to Thomas.
Yeah. All right. So I think that was a no on your part. So I'll go with that.
No.
All right. I think you're going to like this one.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, Alaska Airlines. What is it? Looks like a.
What is that?
What is it? Like an Irish looking pattern? What's it called? For the kilts or something?
I don't know. I was wondering, is that like Argyle type of designs? I don't know design, like pattern design. But I like it. That was here it is. Carranza was the name I couldn't remember. Lowe and Carranza on Philly. I couldn't remember Carranza's name. This year, one thing you are notice is they did a lot on it's kind of like a sublimation type of thing on every shirt. They went heavy on those kind of patterns. I mean, we have the wave pattern on ours. Most of these jerseys have some sort of sublimation type of thing within the kit. But Portland always does well because look, you can't go wrong. It's hard to go wrong with a Portland jersey because yellow and green just go well together. The Oakland A's as a baseball team, the Green Bay Packers. I mean, it's just a strong color scheme, I think. So Steve Munoz, Timbers is nice. Flannel look.
There you go, flannel. I like it.
Kata says it's his favorite Timber kit. All right.
I think everybody
liked it. One goal says sweet plaid. All right. Let's move on. This one. Talk about plain, Ed.
Yeah, that's rather plain and boring.
Yeah. On a year where the teens really stepped out and went very big on design, Real Salt Lake went the other direction.
They went with, I got no ideas. It's, let's just get a shirt out there to sell. I'll buy it for $10.
$10. No, these are $200, Ed.
I don't know about that.
MLS shirts. If you want to get a name on the back of your jersey, an MLS shirt, all the teams are the same price. is going to run you like $197, something like that. Just about $200.
Ouch.
So break out that checkbook if you want a pea color Real Salt Lake jersey. Now, San Jose coming to the table with a very busy shirt.
Very busy. What is that? Intermediate Cloud Communications. Is that what it says? Yeah.
That's their sponsor.
They should have put some clouds around there. What is that?
I mean, you don't have to design a shirt completely around your sponsor, do you?
I'm just saying, cloudy. But it's not the ugliest.
It's not the worst. No. But it's just
I'll give it a thumbs down too.
Yeah. Kata thinks simple, okay, RSL. So I guess he's saying simple is okay. Steve Munoz saying 200 for authentic, 130 for replica. And I remember in years past, not even that long ago, weren't replicas like $80 and the authentic was 130? I think last year, the year before, something like that were around those prices. I like what Kata is saying. I only care for the kit I can buy at Caneswear. Oh. So yes, if you're going to go spend $200 on a jersey, throw that $200 at Caneswear.
Yep, throw that dollar, throw that money.
All right, we're almost done. This one, what do you think? Bruce Lee shirt.
Wow, did somebody? What is it? A tire on there or what?
It almost looks like a tire, but it is a snake.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Seattle, come on.
So when I was on the Battered Herons, I said this was my least favorite shirt. I've had a little more time to look at it. I've come around. I don't hate it, but I don't love it because it is busy. But I think you and I might be the only two people that do not like it. Everybody else thinks it is fire. I've read some reviews online. People think it is amazing. But I think to some extent, people are just happy because it's a Bruce Lee inspired. Because people like Bruce Lee. I don't know. That's my take on that. I don't know.
Why is it Bruce Lee inspired? Doesn't he say be water? He didn't say anything about snake. Be the snake. No, he didn't say that.
Hey, I don't know, but it even has Bruce Lee signature there on the bottom. I don't know why. Oh, it's a Bruce Lee shirt, Ed. I don't know what is Bruce Lee's connection with Seattle. I don't know that either. There might be a connection. I just don't know. All right, here's another plain, boring shirt.
San Francisco, yeah.
St. Louis, the cat food, dog food people.
Yeah,
they got a plain white shirt.
Probably like that. Mila would like it. He's sitting right here, minding his own business now.
Yeah,
not running into things. I think he'd like that just because it's got Purina on there. But other than that, yeah.
So
you like it, Peter?
What I like about it is that zoom in. I like the pinstripe. I do like the pinstripe. I think that's kind of cool. So it's not just a boring white shirt. It's close to a boring white shirt, but it's not. It's one step above a boring white shirt. I would cut St. Louis a little bit of slack because we all know what it's like that first year. You get out a jersey like you're wearing. This is better than our first year shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing the first year shirt, and
look,
it's very plain.
The Purina shirt here is definitely better than the one you're wearing.
It's better than the one I'm wearing.
Steve Munoz thinks it looks like a baseball shirt. Yeah, because of the pinstripes. But there's nothing wrong with that. I like it. I mean, again, I'm not saying this is an amazing shirt, but because it is plain. But like I said, I'm going to cut them a little slack because when you're launching a new team, we've been told before that, like with our shirt, Adidas just gave us whatever pink they had in stock. It wasn't the right pink, so it was barely a pink. It was almost a white, right? It took it takes about 2 to 3 years for them to get it just right. So, I think that's why this is kind of boring. But if we're going to judge it based on design alone, all right, we're nearing the end here, Ed. Nearing the end.
Did you see what Steve Munoz said about the this first year Inter Miami look?
No.
Looks like Charmin. And he's right.
Yeah, it was
Kinda
not
looks
good.
like it has little toilet paper imprints on it.
Yeah.
Toronto.
All right. Toronto. It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Hey.
All right. And last one, Ed. Vancouver trying to go back to the old Chicago Fire.
It looks very Chicago Fire-ish. You're right. Just put the Chicago emblem there, and they got the shirt.
Yeah. But Chicago Fire's not using that design anymore. They're using that weird chevron type pattern thing all over. So, you know.
It's very, it's been done before, Peter Brown. But I'm okay with it.
All right. Well, that wraps up our. So Ed, I think back to our shirt. Trying to find it. Chris Arjun says #1 jersey, Inter Miami's.
I like it.
So overall, I think this year I would definitely say whether you love the jersey or not, or the jerseys across the league, I think Adidas stepped it up. Because really, there was an article last year on The Athletic that really described what the process was for getting these things designed. And we talked about it last year, one of our past shows, where the teams have very little say. They may say Adidas may say you can have some sort of pattern on a sublimation pattern, and you have an opinion on what that pattern may be, but you don't have a lot more than that. They really, Adidas designs them up, and you can have some opinions on it, but it's really Adidas in control. So whatever happened, whether they gave a little more control over to MLS or what, but or Adidas just got a little more creative. Overall, I think this year it's better. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think they finally did good work. Maybe all the criticisms that they got, finally sunk in.
Maybe. Well, anyways, the next week, we got the game. It'll be on Apple TV. Ed, have you downloaded the Apple TV thing? You got all connected, right?
I'm already connected. I already had the Apple TV subscription. So
you got the season pass link from your season ticket. And
for T-Mobile users,
I was going to say that
they can get it for free.
Right.
For a T-Mobile user, which I think like 1/4 of the country's a T-Mobile user.
I don't know. I'm a T-Mobile user, so either way, I was getting it for free. Right. I got it for free because I'm a season ticket holder, but I'm a T-Mobile user as well. So I've already, hopefully you've already been perusing it. Just so you know, they did play 2 preseason games on Apple TV last night, and I watched a little bit of both. You had the Orlando versus New England game and LA Galaxy versus somebody. I don't remember who they played. And I just previewed. I didn't watch much. I just saw a little bit of it. And that's what Steve is jumping in and saying. Saw the preseason match. Steve Munoz saw the preseason matches, loved it. Quality is better and production is better. Yeah, and that was one thing they wanted more cameras. It looks like there's maybe some more cameras, more like close-ups on people here and there. They're 1080p as opposed to what I think was 720 on ESPN Plus. So higher resolution. The pregame, I thought the pregame show would be people sitting at a desk, a nice big set. It's not. It's kind of a smaller set, but it's nice looking. They stand around. The funny thing is everybody's holding an iPad because now, cross promotion. But overall, I think they did a good job. So my one concern is you can't watch all games at the same time, right? It's impossible. So if you want to go back and watch a game that you may have missed, will it still be there? Because the preseason match from yesterday is no longer on the Apple TV. It is only a match recap. So you can only watch the highlights. I want to be able to watch the full match. So hopefully that they did say that you would be able to watch the full match replay, but as of this preseason,
no,
that's not the case. Now, it was the case last night because I for the Orlando game, it was just ending when I went to go watch it, but I think it was around midnight where that changed. So the very next day, it was gone. So that's a problem to me. I need to because throughout the week I'll watch old games. Right. One little tip I want to give everybody before we wrap this up, and I did this on all my devices, is if you want to watch a game, if you, for example, Ed, want to watch the LAFC game, and it happened the day before, the default settings on your Apple TV all season pass is to show scores. So it will show you the score, and you're going to like, well, what's the point of me watching it now?
Right. That's not good.
So go into your settings and turn that off. I did
Remember, guys, very important.
Go into your settings on any device. Every device may be a little bit different as to where the settings are. I turned it off on my Fire TV. I have which is Amazon interface. And then I also turned it off on my iPad. I turned it off on my Apple TV. So, do that. And Kata is saying, yes, they said as soon as the game is done, you can watch it in full. Yeah, they did say that. But again, the preseason matches from yesterday are gone.
We're on there.
So I don't know. I'm just concerned about that. So let's see. Anyways, Ed, it was a long show, but I think a fun show. And I appreciate everybody that stuck with us.
Thanks, guys, for putting up with our ugly mugs. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot again to Franco Panizo for showing up late, but he showed up.
Yeah, everybody check out everything he's doing on Miami Total Football and follow him at Franco Panizo on Twitter. So, Ed.
By the way, guys, wanted to bring up, I'm going to promote it a lot. Not this Monday, not tomorrow, but the following Monday after the game starts, after the season starts, I will be doing a Spanish show. So watch out for that every Monday live at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. en Espanol, just for you Espanol speakers. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be promoting it all week, so you don't forget. All
right, sounds good. I look forward to that, even though I don't understand it. But it's something we should definitely be doing, and fill a gap right now. So that's good. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And man, season's here. It's going to be a lot of fun this year. Stick with us. Thanks, everybody.